Most people using AI for content are getting the same result. Generic, robotic writing that sounds nothing like them. And honestly, I was doing the same thing. But here's what I figured out. The problem isn't the AI, it's what you're feeding it. So I know a lot of you here know Alex Hormozi, and so what I did was I took some of Alex Hormozi's top performing posts, like his best YouTube videos and Instagram content, and I dropped them straight into this AI tool to train it in his voice and to write brand new content. And honestly, the tone was there, the bluntness was there, the way that he uses numbers to make a point, like it was all there. Like I honestly couldn't tell the difference. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how I did this. And the cool thing is that you can do this with your own voice, or if you work with content creators like I do, you can write it in their voice too. All right. So you don't need a big team. You don't need expensive tools to do this. You just need a couple of top performing posts and about 10 minutes. And so stick with me until the very end of this video and you'll learn exactly how to do this. All right, so with that, let's dive right in. All right, so for this, I like to use a tool called Poppy AI, which actually has Claude built into it. And what it is like it's not just like a chat box like ChatGPT or Claude, but it's like a visual workplace. So think like if Claude and Miro had a baby, and I like that it's more visual, right? So the cool thing about it is that you can actually add a bunch of like links to it, and unlike Claude or ChatGPT where like it can only read like the transcripts or the text, Poppy AI will actually also like read the visuals behind it. So it can actually like see the graphics, see the video, and understand that context in addition to the written aspect. And when you paste links there, so you can see here like you can paste from like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, like Poppy AI will also automatically transcribe it for you as well. So like you don't have to like manually get the transcript and then like upload it to Claude as well. So yeah, like it's pretty good to see there. So and then yeah, like with Poppy AI too, like once we populate the stuff here, you can see here that it does also have a chat box too. And yeah, there's already a couple of like pre things built in here. But yeah, you can switch between different like AI models as well. So it has Claude, GPT, Nano Banana, and also like Grok and Gemini and a couple of other areas as well. So it can, yeah, it gives you like all of these options as well. So like you don't have to like manually subscribe to all the different areas on that side as well. So yeah, so what we're gonna do here first for Hormozi is we're gonna create a group here, and we're going to find the top performing posts on Instagram as well as on YouTube that Hormozi has, because we need that context to train like Poppy AI in its voice. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and compile what all of that looks like, and then so that we can feed that into Poppy AI and train it up on Hormozi's voice. Okay, so you can see here that I've put together some of Hormozi's like top YouTube videos as well as his top performing Instagram posts, and I got like a mix of different posts. I found these based on the ones that had the most amount of views. So here's like some of the top performing ones. You can also see like the view count that I put next to it as well. And you can see I also got a mix of content as well. Now, in terms of training this AI model on Hormozi's voice, it's important that it's mostly like Hormozi himself talking, right? Because like let's say if Hormozi is on a podcast or if he's talking to someone and it has someone else talking, then that would kind of skew the AI model a little bit. So yeah, these videos are mainly like Hormozi talking, and that's like what we want here. So like now that we have the content here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an AI chat box. I'm gonna use Claude for this, and I'm gonna connect these two, so the YouTube content and Hormozi content, to this AI chat box. So I also like to just do a little quick text here. So yeah, so I'm gonna ask Poppy like, what do you see in the knowledge base? Just to like make sure that Poppy AI can see this. So let's see what it comes up with. I'm gonna put this full screen as well. Okay, yeah, so it does see the top performing content, and it also can see, yeah, it can also like see like, okay, if it's like a static tweet post, if it's like a reel, so like it has a good breakdown there. I'm just gonna go here so that it's a bit easier to see here. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in this little prompt here, which is wrapped up here. So you're an expert AI system. I've uploaded some of Alex Hormozi's top performing content, mix of YouTube videos and Instagram posts. That's reels. Your role is to analyze Hormozi's content for voice, tone, exactly how it's written, and the patterns in that writing. I want you to use NLP to analyze this text and transcript. Write a description of how to write like this for a future AI system to use. I want to use this as a voice profile to generate new content that sounds like him. Please write in English language, right? So I'm going to go ahead here and populate that into Poppy AI, and let's see what Poppy comes up with. Okay, so we got his core identity, we got his voice characteristics. Yeah, he always says the point first and it's like very blunt, which yeah, I agree. It also identified some specific patterns as well. So you can see like he repeats certain things like 2 to 4 times. He says specific numbers. Okay. Yeah, so this is all pretty good. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna copy and paste this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a little text document here, and I'm gonna paste this in. So all this stuff that we just got from this AI output, and I'm gonna call this Hormozi's Hormozi's voice. Hormozi's voice analysis. Okay. Right, now we're gonna go through some live examples of before and after training it on the voice of Alex Hormozi. So what I'm gonna do here is I have a blank version of Claude, and then I have Poppy AI here with the context here. All right. And by the way, if you've been liking this video so far, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot as it would just help us to reach more people here. And so yeah, with that, let's dive right in. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of this live so that you can see everything here. So yeah, on Poppy AI, just kind of set everything up. I'm gonna disconnect the top performing content because it already has a context. And I'm actually gonna link the voice context of Hormozi to the Poppy AI chat. All right. And on Claude, I'm just gonna have a blank generic clean slate that you can see, just so you can kind of see like the before and after comparison here. So let's just say, yeah, write an Instagram post for Alex Hormozi about, let's see here, about discipline and business. Let's see what Claude comes up with. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Claude does still have some context in terms of some of the things that Hormozi is written in. But yeah, let's see if we do the same prompt here in Poppy. Let's see what Poppy AI comes up with. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead here using Hormozi's voice analysis. Okay, but yeah, you can kind of see the comparison as well. So it sounds a bit more like Alex Hormozi, like it says, like, hey, like most people's in disciplines about willpower, it is not. Okay, and if I ask like what patterns from Hormozi's voice analysis did you use in this post? Right, and you can also like revise this so that it doesn't have like M dashes and stuff. Yeah, it'll actually also like give you what patterns it uses. So like so it uses, so in this case it used the additional slack and a reframe. It also gave specific numbers. And if you compare that to this one, like this caption doesn't have that. Like it's a bit more generic and a bit more high level. And yeah, like Hormozi doesn't use like arrows like this either. So you can see that it is different, right? Even like some of the specific vocabulary used, like price tag, compounds, operator, right? Like this doesn't have it, right? Okay. So yeah, let's go through another example here. So write the hook for the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video for Alex Hormozi on how to make 2026 the best year yet in your life and in business. All right, let's see what Claude comes up with. And then at the same time, we're going to run this on Poppy as well. Okay. All right, so it does still have some of like Hormozi's characteristics because it's in the database. So it has like pattern interrupt, specific, how specific it is. It has no hype. So yeah, I mean, Claude still does have like a somewhat of a decent base on what that looks like. But yeah, let's see what Poppy AI comes up with. All right, so we kind of compare the hooks here. I'm just gonna make sure that all of this is visible on my screen. Okay, no intro, no music, no title card. Okay. And then I think just to kind of give you like the visual comparison, like give me some visual cues and things that can be shown in the, let's say in a 20-minute YouTube video for Hormozi. Yeah, so like on Poppy AI, like it is more specific and yeah, so it goes to a 20-minute video. It has like a hard cut. Okay. And if I say visual cues, like let's see what it comes up with. Okay, Dark Studio. Yeah, so Claude gives some overall in terms of like what all that looks like. But yeah, let's see what Poppy AI comes up with on here. So yeah, you can see Poppy AI does like show more specifics in terms of like, whiteboards, B-roll, on-screen text, more of it more so like visuals and on-screen stuff. Whereas like, yeah, Claude without the context and training, it still has some of the elements, but it is a bit more high level because it doesn't have the same context and the same visuals that Poppy AI was trained on, right? So you can see like the visual component of like Poppy AI here. All right. Let's say you have a business and you're trying to write an email to promote some sort of event. So let's say write a cold email as Alex Hormozi to promote, like I know Hormozi has like his workshops to promote an upcoming business workshop for business owners. I'm going to use the same prompt here on Poppy AI just so that we kind of see what the comparison looks like here. Okay, and you can revise this as well. So keep the email below 150 words. Let's say 250 words. Okay, and then it trains it up on Hormozi's voice, has a subject line. A hard truth opener. Applies to accounts so that it doesn't have M dashes. Okay, so yeah, it looks like Claude came up with a couple different options here. It has a link, it has the cap on the number. Okay, so yeah, it still has some of Hormozi's like punch intact in terms of like the lines and structures and everything. But yeah, let's see what Poppy AI has as well with no M dashes. Okay, so price is X if you're in, if you're not, no hard feelings. Okay, yeah, this is nice and short and sweet. Okay, so yeah, Poppy AI does have a bit more context in terms of what all that looks like. But yeah, like you can see, like even just in a couple minutes, in terms of like having like like the top performing content in terms of like the voice analysis of Hormozi, like it does help to make it a bit more specific and it sounds a bit more like Hormozi. So I think the cool thing is like after you go through this process as well, like you can like instead of Hormozi, for example, you can swap this for your own content. You can swap this for your client's content, and that's like where it gets like really powerful because like Poppy AI can like learn your voice, right? And I think here like because Hormozi is like such a big name, like Claude does already have some pre-context about how Hormozi sounds, and it does already have some data on what that looks like. Yeah, like if you're doing it for like your own voice, or if you're doing it for someone that like isn't like as big as like Hormozi, right? Like Claude and AI tools may not have that context, right? So like that's a big differentiator when you can train the AI tool on like how to actually deliver like content and things that sounds like just like you or your client, and not like generic AI, right? And so yeah, again, like the reason why I like to use Poppy for this is because like Poppy also understands like not just the text components and the written aspect, but also it can understand like the visuals behind it as well. So like, if you're creating like social media content, if you're creating, landing page content, like it can keep all of that context in mind as well, which keeps that like, pretty strong and powerful there. So there you have it. That is what that looks like to train an AI model on how to write in your voice or someone else's voice. And again, like I think this is going to be really powerful, especially when you are training the AI tool on someone that the AI doesn't have like past data sets or context on what that sounds like. And so yeah, if you're interested in trying out Poppy AI, I included a link down below where you can check that out there. Now, a couple of final thoughts just in terms of like what I found works best is like when you're training the AI model on how to write in a voice, it's important that you're feeding it content that's not already written by AI, right? Because obviously that's going to skew it. So you want to ideally like feed it some top performing content that is written by yourself or in your like your client's voice on what that sounds like so that it sounds like as much as possible like the person that you're trying to write for. And the other aspect is like AI is not perfect, right? So I always like to say like it's like an extension of you, but it doesn't replace you. So whenever I use AI, like I always like to use it to come with like first drafts and ideas, but I always revise it afterwards because like otherwise it's still it's still not fully there yet. So like if you want the content to sound the best, like you still do have to like revise it afterwards and like put your knowledge to it on what that looks like. All right. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, if you like this video, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot. And I got tons of other videos and resources to help out content creators and about business on my channel. So yeah, check out the next video here.